Hi there everyone, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome to my channel and to this new series on map making or map creation, whatever way you want to say it. Good man, I hope you are doing well on this side. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. I've got a nice cup of coffee, and while we are diving into the map making process and all the fun stuff around that, I really hope we can cover some ground today. The previous episode, we just all the basics just of opening the map and downloading it and setting it up and doing a few things, There's one thing, however, I forgot. I mentioned, obviously, when you look for a startup map or a blank map or whatever the guys call it these days, the one of the things I forgot to mention is also look for a blank map that already has the seasons mod in it, like this one. If it doesn't have the seasons mod, it's very simple and easy to add seasons. So yeah, it's not a big train smash. If you really like it, go for it. You can always add seasons after that. I might spend some time and make a video on that, on how to add seasons. It's not really difficult at all. A little bit of editing in the i3D XML, and obviously creating some folders and adding some files and manipulating some stuff and whatever. Adding some foliage to it. You'll see there's always a foliage thing with I don't think this one seasons is in there. Yeah, it might be, it's built in. So yeah, I think it's under foliage. But anyways, not to dwell off the topic, let us dive into our map making process, which obviously another good idea also, which I was thinking about whilst just thinking about what I want to do today, is obviously to familiarize yourself with the map or the startup maps directory tree, and where what is. Just to get an idea, for instance, where is all your XMLs located? This one's mod desk is just in the root where it normally should be, but the rest of the XMLs under this one is under the folder called XMLs, where your map 01 is, your farmlands, your environment, default vehicles, very important, default items, very important. You're going to work a lot with those. So yeah, where the creator has stored all the XMLs is also sort of a thing that you want to know. The other one, basically your HUDs. Yeah, we might not. Yeah, the HUDs we're going to use because we're going to change these HUDs. However, this HUD is not the HUD I'm thinking about. The HUDs I was thinking about is the fruit HUDs. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That HUD is also important because we're going to definitely need that. And obviously the map 01 on this is where all the weights are distributed or stored, as well as all your density stuff. I think the seasons one should be in here as well. The mask, there it is. Yeah, so just to get a rough idea of your where stuff is in the thing, that not really that important, but it's something to consider, Anyways, let's dive into where we are in our on our map making thing. I hope you've got a nice cup of coffee. Sit back and relax with me, and I'll do all the talking, and you enjoy what we're getting up to today. Okay, good. So in our previous episode, we've done all the basic stuff, the important things like putting up your base or your default foliage type for the back, for the ground, or to cover the whole map with that, and to save yourself a lot of time later on in the map making. Today's and then we also looked at the borders, and we looked at the fields, and we looked at the animal husbandry, so how to put those in. I didn't go for any custom stuff. When we start working with the default items, I will explain the custom stuff, because we're going to do a lot of that when we start working with the XMLs. That's normally I leave those things for last, to move the things in place, set up all the the sell points and that. So I leave those things for last. That's the sort of making the map work thing, you know. I leave that for last to sort that out later on. You might be wondering why these borders are white. I've left them visible so that I can get an idea where my map borders are going to be. But once I'm done with them, I'm just going to go there and I select the visibility and poof, they are all gone and you'll never know that they've been there. So also you'll see my water planes. I've also made it invisible for now, just to have it out of the way and not bothering me, you know, because we're not working with that currently. Okay, good. So the map borders I want back, yes, like that, and there you go. Now we're ready. All right, for today. Today I want to focus on the river. Or let us start today with working on the geography of the map, the heights of the ground, and getting an idea where we want to do what, you know. So when I did the river here, I just took my hand and I drew a nice curvy line, and the same with the road, you know. It's not I didn't copy something or try to imitate another look or whatever. I've just done it somewhat randomly, you know, being creative. And I always like to have at least a bridge in the map and stuff like that, you know. We might have another bridge or something here or whatever, you know, and maybe add some roads or later on, you know. It depends. As the map, the creativity unfolds, and obviously we will adjust accordingly. Oh yeah, nothing like a good cup of coffee, guys. Once again, if you hear some squeaks in the background, sorry, man, my chair is getting a bit old. I must actually try and give it some oil. Maybe it will help. You know, when stuff get old, get some oil and yeah, give it some TLC. You know. Anyways, so what to do? Shall we carry on with the river? Make the river today, or shall we? I wonder, yeah, let's do the river. I want to do the river first because it works with your water plane and the height and of the water plane and all that. To do the geography side of the map, the map height or the mountains or whatever you want to call that, it's not a big deal because we're just going to add soil to the map, you know, to make it higher here and lower there and whatever, you know. That's the same that we're going to do with the river now. Now the river, when I started it, I just made it 7 on your diameter of the tool, which is straightforward, the size of basically of a dual highway road, you know, 7. So what I'm going to do today is just make it a bit wider in some places and maybe have a curve and you know, like a normal river, there's places thicker and thinner in it, you know. It's not all just one size, just to make it a little bit more feely, you know, like a real river. Anyways, so that is going to be maybe, how can I say, the aim for today, to get the river sorted. All right, anyways, so first thing we want to do is determine the depth, the maximum depth of the river, because we're going to work with that straight through as this map is still level, and it's like there's no heights on it or anything. And when you work with the water plane, it's important. I've tried before on another map called Pilgrims, one of my South African maps. I've tried to have multiple layers of water. My word, what a mess. Yeah, I struggled for days to get that thing sorted. I eventually went back to one. No, sorry, I left it there, but most of the water, except for the lowest water, is usable, the lowest part of it. But the others, I had to put up wind pumps because I just for the life of me can't get the higher waters to be usable, you know. You can't draw from it. But anyways, so without further ado, let us jump in here. I wanted to go and set these map borders invisible again, because I think for this job today we don't need that. All right, so let's just get a depth to see how deep we're going to make the river. So there needs to be a little bit of depth. I don't like to go too deep, because otherwise what I want to say is, if the river is too deep, you lose color in the water, especially the watercolor stays nice if the water isn't too deep, you know. So yeah, we don't want to go too deep. All right. Anyway, I've babbled a lot too much actually. So let us start by taking in the tree. I want to grab one tree here. Let's grab an oak stage 4. Is that now? That's not the one I've planted there. We can just quickly move it and see. Put it in here. All right. Now what's nice now is, if I plant a tree there, I can immediately see the height is 96.118 if you place it on the ground in the base. So if I move it this way, it is 99.949 is my map height, can I say, the ground height of the map. So to give an idea, there we go. So it's 99.9 and 95.6. So it's about four and a half, whatever these things are, if it's meters or millimeters or whatever. I'm not too sure what you call it. Maybe it could be millimeters, maybe it could be centimeters, I'm not sure. But anyways, so yes, and if you can look at the tree height, that's about how deep the river is. So I think it actually, if you look at it, it's sort of, I'm happy with that depth. You can make it a bit deeper. Don't really worry too much about it. Anyways, it's just a good idea of how to gauge the depth, you know, to get a rough idea. Okay, so now let us move the tree out of the river, and then we can start by just getting creative on the river. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be quiet, and then I'm just going to use the tool to obviously shape the river a bit better. Oh yes, what I wanted to show you is grab the deep end of the river and get a depth there. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you set your tool to that depth. And to do that, we're going to go on your right mouse button. You can program any button of your mouse, whichever one you want, but I normally just use the right one. And you go to replace. Okay, so when you replace, then you're going to adjust the height of the ground to that level. And what we're going to do is we're going to go there and go small so that we can go there. And then I'm just going to click once in the hole, Control Z to undo, so that my cursor is now set there. And then I'm going to go Control and R to set. Check the height here by replace. It's 104 at the moment. So we're going to go Control R there, and it's going to select that. All right, so now we've got the replace value of 95. So let us round it off to 95. You can also use that as a good way of measuring depth if you want to use this tool. You know, I just normally just plant a tree, you know. But I suppose this makes more sense to use that. Good stuff. Anyways, so now we have the depth. It's good. So now we can start getting busy with shaping the river. And I'm going to time forward this next part so that I don't bore you to death in time, you know. So yeah, good stuff. All right. I promise I'll be quiet in a moment, all right? So what you do is you basically set your tool and you just shape. And here, what you do now is you basically transform the shape of the river. And don't be scared to maybe leave an island or two in it, you know. Just fiddle around like that, you know. And don't worry about the edges. We're going to do the edges last. You can leave it rough like that. We're going to smooth it out, so don't worry about too much. Doing too nice a job. Nature isn't nice, you know, so it's rough. So don't worry too much about it. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now, guys, and so I can focus here and also give me some time to time compress the video. Okay, guys, so I'm just replacing some ground here because obviously I've made it through to the bottom of this border. I don't think it's going to make any difference, but I just want to not have it looking like that underneath. Not that it really matters, guys, but anyways, here we go. That is now the river sorted, and I think it probably looks all right. Good. Now to actually sort out the edges of the map to make it more soft, we're going to go to the replace, just go back that to the standard, which is subtract, and in the middle mouse button we're going to go smooth. You can actually, like I said, program any button. But anyways, I just like to do it the way I like to do it, you know, anyways. And then just smooth the edges. Oh, and just get a value here on these three. I normally put it like there. It should smooth it nicely. And you just roughly run over the edge of the river. You don't want to smooth too much, so otherwise it might not come out nice. But anyway, and this will just give you a good edge and not a drop down into the river, you know, sort of a smooth edge into the river. So I'm just going roughly over with the center marker of your circle basically running on the edge of the you'll see I also smooth out this little indent in the middle just to sort of have my brush run over them a little bit, you know, just to get it nice. Good. I'm going to be quiet now again, so just to time compress this part now that you know what I'm doing. Okay. Good. Now that that is done, let's just do an inspection. So what you can do now is just have a quick look at what the edges look like. It's nice and round, and it's not a direct drop. You'll have now a smooth edge running up to the thing. So if you would run with a tractor through this, you won't have a flip over, you know. It's good. All right. So if it's not up to what you like, you can obviously let me just reverse out here a bit like that. Yes. You can obviously go another round. You'll see that I've done it twice over each edge, you know, just to get a rough idea of smoothness. All right, so the next step is to remove the grass, obviously over the whole river. Now that is going to be very easy. The same drill, we're just going to go to one side, start on one side. Let me go this one. I think this is now closer after venturing off a bit. And we're going to grab that, and we're going to go to our terrain foliage tool. You select grass. Just make sure that you have your right mouse button back to subtract, because otherwise if it's still on replace, it's not going to work. I've found myself many a time wondering, why is my tool not working, what's it not doing, and then I must go back to the button what it's programmed as. Okay, great. So you go to grass. You don't have to set a layer state to do that, and then you just right click on the grass itself, and you'll see it will remove it. So if we go in close now, you'll see that piece I've done should be no grass. Now here you want to be careful. You don't want to make work for yourself afterwards. So don't remove grass off the borders of the river, you know. So leave the grass to go a little bit into the water, as in nature, you know, the grass, because the river in nature goes up and down according to season, you know, and rain and all that. So sometimes the water, there's grass in the water and that type of nonsense. You know what I'm talking about, guys. But anyways, so be careful not to remove all the grass, just a little bit like that, and leave it a little bit for the height of the water. It's not a train smash if there's some grass in the water, you know. Nothing has to be perfect, as life isn't perfect, you know. So and stuff happens, so let's just leave it like that. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet again and just run my mouse all the way up and down, not to take off grass off the shelf or the ground sides of the river. Okay, be back, or when I'm finished we'll carry on. Excellent, man. You'll just see I've just modified the exit here on the map a little bit, made it a bit wider. It was a bit too small for my liking, so yeah, nevertheless it's done. And now there you go. Now you have a river with a nice grassy edge, and we're ready to let the water run in there. So the next thing, obviously, we need some mud and some stuff in the center of the river. Now, in order to do that, I normally, if you want a good color in the river, just put sand in it, because sand makes the water look very nice. So let's just grab some sand and chuck it in there. Rough dirt, we want to go to sand wet. Sand wet is a fairly dark color like that, which will work perfect. You can use that, or you can go to beach sand wet. Now all this ground types, guys, is also something that you must check. Not all the maps have the same ground types. If your ground types is different, then you're going to have to work with what is available on that map, or you can add to it, which is a fairly big job. But there is a ground type. What is that ground type called? Yeah, I can't really remember now. I think I could maybe find it under my mods and stuff. Terrain original forgotten plants. The forgotten plants mod has got this stuff, which is fairly nice. And if you go to the just search the internet for forgotten plants. I think what I'll do is I'm going to try and remember to put a link for the forgotten plants ground types, which is quite nice. And I must say they've got some beautiful ground types on it. They don't have sand and that type of stuff, but at least they've got some nice featured stuff. But there is other, I'm sure if you find other ground types, you can get something that you like, you know. But anyway, sand wet, beach sand, what's the other thing? Beach sand rough, looks like that. Now these are the ones I like because they're bright. The water turns like a nice sort of, you know, on the islands you get that nice look, you know, on the beaches, that type of what is that color? It's like not an aqua, but it's quite a nice thing. But anyway, here we go, guys. Beach sand wet. It's almost the same color. Same color as the normal beach sand. Just have a look closer to the thing to see. That one has got some nice pebbles in it. And the other one is nice and whitish. You can obviously do a blend between the lot, you know. I'm just undoing by pressing Ctrl Z. Just get a nicer feel to it. Let's have a look. That one is the beach sand wet. Beach sand rough looks like that. Now I want you to notice if you paste look at this one, for instance. They've got 4 different beach sands roughs. It's the same name, beach sand rough 01. It will be 02, 03, 04, and the same with beach sand wet 02, 03, 04. If you see any of the things like that, any of your texture layers or texture layers like that, you can actually create a multi-layer with that. I'll show you one of these. All the ones in what do you call it, caps, are multi-layered. These are single layered, so if you paste them, you'll see there's like a pattern. It forms a pattern, and I really hate that. You know, I totally hate things with a pattern on it because it looks so unnatural, you know. So but you can create one from this you can create a multi-layer with anyone that's got 4 colors, or 4, what do you call these things, little texture layers. But anyway, I'll show you. Maybe we should do it now, because otherwise if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget. Let us do it now. I'm going to show you how to make a multi-layer. So if this is the color you like and it doesn't have there's a beach sand rough here on top by the caps ones, beach sand rough, there's definitely not a beach sand rough. So we can create one out of that 4 patterns, and this will save you or make your life easy and nice. So let's use the beach sand rough. Is that the one we've got now? Beach sand. This is, how do I get to grass? My gosh. Go back to beach sand rough. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so it's a nice light color. I like that. So let us quickly just save Tiny like this. Once he's saved, we can close it because we need to edit the XML. So we want to go to that beach sand rough thing. Exporting. There you go. All right, ready. So we go back here to desktop, Tiny, open Tiny, find your XML, the i3D, open, edit with Notepad. And what you're going to do now is find the one that says, you press Control F and find layer combiner. That's the word that you want. Find next, the layer combiner. And here it is. The combined layers are the ones with the highlights, you'll see. So all these are just looking like that. So what you do is you select one here, doop, like that. You copy it. I'll just click on it there and Control C for copy. And obviously you want to go to the bottom. I'll just chuck this one in at the bottom. Make an extra line there. Press the home button, press Control V, and there you go. So rough dirt, we've copied rough dirt. So now, just want to press the delete to go back. All right, so there you go. So rough dirt, we're going to change this one to the, what was that? Sand rough, sand puddle, sand rough. So we find the layer that says sand rough, beach sand rough. There it is. So what we need is this word, beach sand rough 01. We want that. We copy it in there. Okay, we go down to the layer combiner and you paste it in here. So you want that 4 colors you want in here, or that 4 layers. So that's going to be rough 01. So you just overwrite these ones. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? That's the wrong one. Rough dirt, we want to modify this one. Don't get confused, guys. My word, if you mess up here, you're going to mess up your i3D. Good idea before you do anything to the i3D, make a full backup of your map. Let us rather quickly do that. I forgot to do that, because if you mess up, I'm just going to not save it. That's all. It's a nice thing about it. And make a quick backup of my map. So we're going to take Tiny, just copy it and place it somewhere safe. I have got a directory for map build, so I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to paste it here. And then once we've got all that sorted, like that, and I'll call it Tiny Backup. Okay, right, good stuff. So now we can just go back there, Tiny Maps 01, all right, and there you go. Okay, so let's start that again. Remember to do backups regularly, guys. I've lost so many days of work by forgetting to do a backup. And you mess up one thing, especially when you work with the i3D file, because if you mess this up, your whole map is gone. And believe me, I've had a few times where I had to go back to a backup, and yeah, then you lost a lot of time. Layer combiner. Okay, so let's do that again. I wonder if that, no, it won't still be there. So let's just copy it again. Control C, drop it down at the bottom on the last one. Okay, so there it is, rough dirt. We're going to change this layer, the combined layer name as well. So I'm going to delete that so it's nice. But we're going to first get to our beach sand rough 01. Copy that. So what we basically need is that four layers just in here. I've again used the right one, Ian. Just overwrite these four, and then we're just going to change. Actually, like that. 01, 02, 03, and 04. Like so. All right, the noise frequency, I've got no idea what that is, but I think it's got to do with when you painting it on the map, the distortions it get. In other words, how quick it what it basically does, it actually pastes all four of these layers, sort of blends them into each other. So the frequency will be how quickly it will blend it, or how many times does it blend it, so it gives you a nice how do you call it, a nice pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste, we'll just write it. So we're going to caps lock, beach sand rough, just call it beach sand rough. Good, and that's it, guys. Now you save, just as easy as that. Save your i3D. And hopefully it will still work. It's always good to have a backup, guys. Yeah. Believe me, make backups every half an hour, every hour, or once you've reached some milestone or something, just make a backup. Now, if you go to your terrain detail, foliage layer, whatever. Sorry, we're working with our texture layers. You will find beach sand rough there. You see? So you select that, voila. And when you paste it now, look, there's no unified pattern that you can see, So yeah, it's just a tip to get rid of those ugly patterns, or that ugly what do you call it, stuff that looks all the same, a recognizable pattern that gives you like the same thing over and over, and then you can see it when you paste a texture. Okay, guys, so I'm going to just do the river. Just paste the whole river, or paint the whole river rather. And this time I want the sand to actually just go into the grass like that here and there. I make my brush a bit bigger. So you don't want to spend too much time doing this. Once again, you want to just go up the slope of the river, touch the grass. And like I say, don't worry too much about perfection. As nature is not perfect, it doesn't really matter. Good. So once you've done the whole river, you can carry on. So I'm going to be quiet now and just do that so I can time compress. Okay, guys, so now we've got the river nicely, sort of nicely laid out. Now I think it's time to bring that water plane up, make it visible, and just have a look what the river looks like. How is that? Isn't that awesome, guys? It gives you just a rough idea what your river was going to look like. I like the color of the water here on the edges. Like I say, if you make it too deep, it goes too blue, you know, or too dark. But I think this is very nice. It doesn't look too bad. It's got a good color to it. Ah, I like a lot. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Great. Let's just travel through the side of the river. And I like how the edges are not straight, you know. It's not like you've built a channel. It's more like a real river, sort of, you know, and the little edges and things. Yeah, I think that is sufficient for what we wanted to achieve. You can obviously modify it a little bit. If there's places where you think, like this one here, let's give it some more sand there, you can go back and obviously do that. Just throw in a bit of more sand there to work the edges nicely, you know. So I think I might just do that, run a quick up and down the river, and wherever I see I've got too little sand, like there's a little bit too little, I can just bring it up a little bit, you know, just make it nice, nicely sticking out of the, or into the water, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's do that little quick. That one here also needs a little bit of a tweak. Good. Yeah, it's like I say, don't try and be perfect, you know, because the less perfect it is, the more realistic it probably is going to be at the end of the day. So just drop that in there. And I mean, even the grass running over doesn't really matter too much. Don't worry about that, because that's how it is in nature as well. It's not too nature isn't perfect, and we aren't perfect, so yeah, just how it is, guys, just how it is. Good. This is the last bit we're going to do, and then we're going to just leave it. Let it be. Leave it. Let it be. Great. So yeah, I think that is cool, man. That is cool. And there's our river, guys, taking shape. Very nice. And I love this water. It is a beautiful water plane. It's got some nice mirror reflection, not too much. And when you're in the real map, you will see the wind movement on the water. Perfect. Everything is just nice. Good. You can see the reflection there as well. I think if you press the play button, you might get an idea. There you go. You press the play button here on top, and then you can get anything that's got motion in the game to give you an idea how it will look in the map, you know. So there you are. And if you're tired of the play button running, you can just stop it again. Good, excellent, man, excellent. Well, guys, I think that is enough for the river making for now. You can obviously now add a lot of stuff to it, which I normally do, but I do that later on. We're going to put some reeds in the water and some fallen trees and all kinds of stuff, grasses in the river itself. We'll add that later on when we do. We can actually maybe, I don't know what the time is like for this video already, but yes, I think maybe we can chuck a few of those in, water plants and stuff. So in order to do that, obviously, we're going to go to our, just want to minimize this like that, and then obviously find my E drive, I think, open in a new window. Drop it in there, just make it like that. So and then we go to FS19 map placeables and mods. Here we go, mods for maps, placeables, and then I think I've got it under water plants. Here we go. So I'm going to see what the size is. 18 megs, so you can use that, it's not too big. Map 01 maps. I am in maps and placeables, so there it is. I can just drop it in there, copy it, boop. Alright, so there you go. So now we go back to our map, and remember, guys, very big tip, do not import anything that's not in your map directory. Always copy it to your map directory first and then import it. Very important, because I've done it a few times and I had to re-upload my maps, causing great frustration on the community and people playing the map. When they open the map on the east side, then suddenly stuff isn't there, you know, or stuff hasn't got all the colors on it, like trees hasn't got the right textures on it, because I forgot to copy it into the map directory and then import it via the editor. Because if you don't do it, it lies on your drive, it works fine on your machine, but the moment it gets to another person's machine, oh boy, it's not going to find the files. Also, a good tip is to always look at your errors here at the bottom on your console. You can make this a bit bigger, and every time you load your map, just go through roughly all these things. Anything that is not related to the actual game, like this is your actual game directory, that's fine. But anything else has to always point to your map directory. If it doesn't show your map directory, you've got problems. If it's in another directory, if you catch what I'm saying. Okay, so and if there's any errors there, then you know, oh, I've got a problem. Then don't even open the map in the game, because it's going to give you error in the game as well if you see any errors. There is a default error here on the editor itself, which you can ignore. It's something about far out of texture, or something is far out of, here we go. Transform group Busha 1 has elements very far from the cell edge. Now you'll have two of those normally, one for Busha 1 and one for Busha 1 Winter. If you've got the seasons mod installed, Busha 1 Winter will be an error as well. So don't worry about that. It's not an error. It's just got something to do with the way the editor works or something. I'm not too sure what it is, but yeah, it is standard to have that little warnings there. Good. All right. So now let's import some stuff for the water, some plants and stuff. So we're gonna go desktop, tiny, maps, and then placeables, and then water plants. Okay, water plants, water grass. Now this water grass is I wonder what was this water grass. Let's just put it in and see what it looks like. Water plant reeds. Just want to see what it looks like. Oh, it's those things. Okay, yeah, nice. These are nice. This is just stuff that I've taken off, exported from another map and made my own little i3D for it, and then there you go. So what I want to do is I want to create a transform group, and we're going to just call this water plants, obviously. Oh, my caps lock is still on. Oh, my word, I hate that. I forget to look where I write. Good. I'm not one of those guys, you know. I first put do we have a placeables directory, empty map, placeholders? We don't have a placeables, so let's just create a placeables as well. So create a transform group, transform, and call it placeables. Placeables. Okay. Right, and then we can put our water plants in there, Control X, and paste it in there, and obviously take our read, Control X that boy, put it in there, and there you go. Now we have our water plants in the right spot, and nicely organized tree, the way I like it. Let's start on this side of the map, and I'm basically just going to put a few of these here and there for the niceness of the map, you know. So Control B, replace it wherever you want it, and then obviously you can rotate it. Good. Great, guys. So yes, the next step, obviously, Control D to duplicate and Control B to place. So yeah, you put them everywhere you want, move them about, and just carry on. And don't be shy to overlap them and put them in different directions. What I normally do is just swing them around a bit, Control B, and then you can move them while holding your key, your left mouse button. That's your place button. So yeah, you just move them around until you find a spot, and boop, and then that's it. Okay guys, so I think that is about sufficient for one video. I don't want to make the videos too long, so let's call this episode 2, and yes, carry on the next one. And remember to make a backup of your map every time you've done something significant. Just make a quick backup. It doesn't take long, and it will save you hours of frustration, believe me. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing. Give it a like, the video, if you like it, if it was helpful. Leave some comments if you got some questions or whatever. Please do send them to I suppose use my email address. I'll put my email in the comments, in the description, and then if there's stuff that you're not understanding how to do it, I can make videos of that too, not a problem. Just drop me a mail. The easiest is to just send an email. All right, have a wonderful day guys. This is Farmer Bob saying cheers.